You ready to do this?
Sure.
All right, let's do this.
Trekaholic.
Trekaholic, another Star Trek podcast, slipping it in, our competition.
Hello and welcome back to Trekaholic. I'm Albie.
Hi, and I'm Brent.
Brent is here with me today, and we are talking about Season 1, Episode 7 of Lower Decks, Much Ado About Boimler. What are your first impressions of this episode? What do you think?
It was good. It wasn't my favorite. We got to see Mariner from two different perspectives, which, again, you get to see her in her glory, but also see her just acting up.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see just a good, funny Boimler kind of episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite.
There was a lot of Easter eggs in there, and that had me excited. I don't know Easter eggs, but like little callbacks. What are we calling them? Fan service?
Actually, it's neat because I think there definitely was, especially when we see the spaceship, the medical ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also very few actual call outs to names. Like there wasn't any name dropping in this one as much.
Not as much. They didn't mention stuff as much as showed stuff.
Yeah, Mariner's really good about always saying Kirk and whatnot, but this one did not have that.
No, but the episode did get me. I mean, I wasn't expecting everything that happened, which is unusual for me. So
that's actually, maybe that's a show from Mike, because he's with Rick and Morty. He's very much, it's always a little unexpected endings or a story.
Mm-hmm.
And you're definitely getting that with this. It's a new storytelling method. Unlike most Star Trek and most TV, you always kind of can almost predict where the story's going 5 minutes in, and definitely by the middle. So I've actually enjoyed the series for that one fact, as there's a lot of spin, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I guess you ready to watch the episode?
Sure.
That'll be great. Okay, after the episode, we'll have final thoughts and Trek and Tell, and we'll give our scores. So stay tuned for the whole show. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we're going to count this down, and when the computer says on view screen, we are going to go on view screen, and which means we're going to watch the episode. So hopefully you can watch it along with us. All right, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1.
On view screen.
All right, TVPG. I noticed not a lot of cursing in this episode. A couple.
I actually was wondering about that. I think I'm noticing it used it more at the beginning, less as we go on. Makes me wonder if they're going to try to maybe eliminate that to the most part. It's
still funny when it does happen. When it opened, I was like, oh, they're doing Chain of Command. Like,
okay.
Right? Was that what is it called? Where Jellicoe takes over?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the exact beginning of it's the same, I think.
I thought the whole when they start, well, we got a little further in, but when they get the see the captain and everybody in their black one piece and down in the caves. The opening here I actually thought was funny. I'm like, they're all sleeping in their bunks in their uniforms.
Yeah, that is weird. Like they're not in pajamas, but I guess if you're sleeping in the middle of a corridor, you're not going to be wearing like negligee or whatever Boimler would wear.
That's true.
I love the dog. Named the dog.
The dog.
Yeah. What did you think about that? It was a little scary.
I was wondering, right? Basically, this opening scene here, and all of a sudden he breaks his neck and is climbing on the ceiling. He's like, okay, is it gonna be the bad guy for the episode that we're dealing with? And instead, it's just a background kind of bit. It
kind of gave me a feeling of maybe The Thing. A little bit, where that starts to transform. And it was kind of scary because I didn't know where it was going. I had no idea the dog was going to be so sweet at the end.
Well, that's one of those ones. Is it getting smarter, evolving as the episode went on? Because it didn't seem like it was too bright there.
Yeah, the opening is still funny to me.
I love this opening.
Yeah, it's really good. I still don't know all the actors' names. I know the Lower Decks. I still have to work on all of the I guess Upper Decks people.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Actually, one of the things every time I listen to the opening, I originally always heard original series flowing into next gen and then kind of into its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear it now, I kind of hear a DS9 off the start and then going into a.
It's like an amalgamation of everything, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely says Star Trek. Like if you heard it and hadn't heard it before, you're like Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So
And
I think they did a really good job on that.
I finally noticed the stripe on the ship that they keep talking about, but I'd never noticed that before. Much Ado About Boimler. So, do you know much Shakespeare? Much Ado About Nothing?
Oh, I know the term. Didn't put two together.
The only reason I thought of it is because when I did Bedtime with Bruce, another TV show, was like a TV talk show. I was going through my midlife crisis, so we did an episode called Much Ado About Albie, totally in black and white, like ripping off Joss Whedon's version of Much Ado About Nothing.
Nice. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, I like how Rutherford said before, just so we're all on the same page, this is just a regular dog and she's messing with us before it did that. One cool thing that came out of this episode that I really like was the cube dog. When the dog
right
turns into a cube, yeah. It just like I you know how people when you go to conventions, they have like K9 running around or R2D2. So somebody's gonna make a cube that just rolls around like that.
That's.
You're a little bit of an engineer, right? Or you're more software than hardware?
I'm more software. I actually would like to get more into hardware, but definitely, I like what he's doing here, trying to tweak it and make it better.
Yeah, I think that's my style normally, the all up, you know. But and who would just jump into a transporter and say, "Yeah, transport me back and forth. That's fine. I want to die a few times a minute."
I was wondering about that. I'm like, wouldn't they want to do testing with some sort of canisters or something? Didn't they show that in Voyager at one point?
Yeah, when they beamed it through the micro wormhole to the past to the Romulan ship.
That was right.
I like this. I like the transport effect. It's pretty cool. So it worked the first time, but not the second time. So did he break something? Because I thought you had to be transported twice too fast to get phased, but at the end they just get transported once and they're phased. So
that's a good point. Maybe it's just for the comedy. I love that he's making the high pitched noise.
Yeah, and that's the only thing people care about. They're not concerned for him. They're just like, this noise bothers me. So I don't know.
Get our new captain.
Yeah.
So like you said, the chain of command is very much. I felt like a ripoff, but it's not. As the episode progresses, it's not, I guess. But
yeah, but they called it out, so it made it so it was okay. If they mention it, I think it's okay.
Now, I'm unsure about when here when she makes her commander. I'm like, I don't know if that would work. A proper flow of chain of command or how it would work. She'd be allowed, or even. Is
that like a field promotion? Maybe.
Maybe
it could be. Okay, this is...
people would call it out because of friends.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do if the captain says that's what's going on, and everybody knows it's like babysitting and temporary anyway? So why not just make your friend your first officer? And I totally bought into it. I was like, yeah, that seems like normal. I didn't even question it at all. But this is one of the things that the phasing. Nothing to see here. I'm just phased. It's okay. But that's for sick people. That made me laugh. But what I liked about this was that, this joke, normally her jokes, the cat doctor, I still don't know her name, but normally they make me laugh. This one I didn't. I think it's too repetitive. Like she always has that one line with a curse in the middle.
I'm hoping they develop the cat because they really haven't. That's actually one of the characters we haven't really met.
She needs an episode, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, nobody cares about him as much as they care about the sound. So, make me a real boy. That's funny.
At least he can touch objects. I remember first thought I came to was the Lafarge and Rowe episode where they were not. So how did they didn't fall through the ship? I don't know, but
yeah, the Romulan went right through the side of the ship, but apparently there's something in the floors that make people not sink through the floors. It might be some of the gravity plating or something. Now, this is something that I almost cut that out for my daughter, but she saw it in the preview, and I was like, well, I guess she already saw it. But the one scene that I think is missing here is about like, why is the dog in sick bay and getting carted off to the farm? Like, they didn't say. It's like she's just there and going, like it's already said and done. It was off camera or something.
See, I just assumed the dog was following Tendi around, or that's her position. So I didn't really think much about it. But yeah, the pack's going to was it Division 14?
The time travel division, right?
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. My first thought was Section 31, and I'm like, no, 31. So I'm like, have we actually heard of Division 14 before?
I haven't, but it makes sense. I mean, there's stuff happening every week on these ships, and this storyline, I totally bought it. I thought Beckett Mariner was just a mess up for some reason. I just thought she wasn't. I had no idea she was faking it, and because I forgot about that one episode where she saved the day when she was teaming up with her mother.
Yeah, that's true. No, so they just did the hug there, and she has the wide eyes. I'm like, is that going to be a foreshadowing to something? And
watching it the second time, I was like, oh, okay.
They got the ominous ship coming out.
Yeah.
No. So you have the 3-armed orange alien. So is this a callback to original or animated series?
Yeah, I want to say, I don't know the guy's name on the original series, but yeah, it definitely looks like the same species from that guy. It's so weird. And when I was watching this, I had this whole thing in my head, like his clavicle has to be like triangular or something. And then he's wearing a mask, so I thought, well, it's 2020.
That's a whole side story, but I'm actually really curious how TV shows in general are going to handle the whole 2020 year.
Well,
going forward.
I know when they're filming, like the Goldbergs, they take place in the 80s, so they're not wearing masks. But whenever the camera's not on, they're wearing masks. Yeah,
but I guess what I'm saying, I'm actually curious how some series that are live during the current era, if they're going to actually write this into their story, or if they're going to ignore the fact that 2020 happened or COVID happened.
Right. Because now when I watch TV, I just think they're too close. Why are they touching? They shouldn't shake hands. Oh my goodness, they're kissing. They're both going to die. So, but that's that's how I feel, that when I'm watching stuff, unless it would takes place in the past tense period and you're like, oh, that's before the plague, before the end of days. Going to a bog planet.
Yay. So here she's really feeling out of place.
I've been that person. I've been promoted before when I wasn't qualified for the position, and of course I took it anyway, hoping I would catch up as I went. So I kind of probably just I projected my own past failings onto her. That's why I bought it, hook, line, and sinker, even when she went the wrong way.
I like that actually. I'm like, because they always just seem to know when she went the wrong way, which is just good classic comedy, but good.
Yeah,
like the salamander people.
Has this planet ever come up before, or a bog planet at all?
Probably not.
So normally they have crystal clear water, I guess, because that's what they're fixing. But isn't a bog just muddy, swampy water? So I don't know.
Well, and if they were actually needed the race actually needed clear water, I think the mud water would not be good for them. So
yeah, because that's what they're breathing, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
She forgot the tricorders. I don't know, but did you know she was faking it the whole time?
I never really think about it. I actually thought she was out of her league here.
Right, because she's used to being a lower deck. Let's get some margaritas.
Yeah, she wasn't having her smart ass comments. It was very much. So then we see our captain. I'm just straight out of chain of command.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're trying to sneak in a plant.
And to plant the plant. And it was so funny because I think the funniest part in here is the security chief. He has nothing to do because they're just there to plant a plant. So he is just so bored. He wants to rescue somebody or shoot somebody, but he's just holding a plant. And then the new captain even makes fun of it. So that's funny. I don't know. It was well put together.
Yeah, I actually find, especially as the series has gone, every episode seems to be probably after the first one or two, it seems to be gotten better and better to me. I actually, like I said, I don't think this is my favorite yet, but it was just still a decent episode. buttons on the commander's chair. I don't actually ever remember them really having anything more than intercom off of there. So.
Oh, and they have eject shuttle pod or something. Remember from that original episode?
Okay.
What was that? Oh. Eject the one thing that the one guy's in. All these guys, these new aliens. What I got excited for immediately was I had flashbacks to when I was a kid, and they had all these different non-sports cards like ALF cards, Garbage Pail Kids, and stuff like that. And they had Star Trek cards, and I really want them to put out Lower Decks cards like with all the cartoon animated characters. And I was like, wow, this is just like a whole nother 25 cards right here. You know, with their backstory in the back. I don't know. I got adulted. It's not fun.
Well, so you have a daughter, so I thought you may know.
Yeah, I buy her stuff that I don't understand instead of me buying stuff that I understand. Or, you know, this was my favorite part of the episode.
All back to Pike.
Oh, Pike was funny. The
two merge. So two merge, is that like a Tuvix type thing?
Ooh, maybe.
There's a salamander. Is that
Tom Paris?
Warp 10.
Definitely Tom Paris. He went faster than Warp 10, and he was everywhere at once.
One of my favorite and least favorite episodes of Voyager in one.
I love it. People hate it. I love it. But this was my favorite part, where he was half a rascal. When he said half a rascal, I laughed at the one beep from the radiation woman in the chair. But when he said, "I'm doomed to live out the rest of my days as a half a rascal," I just lost it. Because you would have to see the episode Rascals to get it, number one. And number two, like, he would have to see the episode Rascals and know it was named Rascals to even say he was half a rascal. I don't know.
I really liked how they did all the different aliens. I think almost every alien in that room was a callback. So, is there any that you like noticed? Because like I never saw Duck Build Guy or some. I know there was a couple there. There was one with the guy with his head off, holding his head. I don't know what that was a callback to, or if that was even a reference. Yeah. But they here they beam into the bridge. There's no gravity. Do they know there's no gravity? So they beam them into the center of the room? Because normally on live action TV, they would, even though there's no gravity, they would like beam in already mag booted to the floor, kind of. Wow.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It's you got 23 minutes. You make it as fast as possible.
That's true. You got to take shortcuts and stuff, but. One of the guys.
Well, the guy's half his head's missing.
Yeah, I thought about that. It's got to be some kind of time travel accident where, like, he was in an explosion and his head was exploding, but it also chronoton particles built up and it like froze the exploding head. That's the only explanation I could come up with.
I'm going with it. Sounds good. Chronoton particles.
What about Eye Nipple Guy? How did that happen?
Well, transporter accident. Isn't everything a transporter accident?
Just a head guy?
Or it's some new type of radiation. Well, they'll release a gas, it'll fix you.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't fix it this time. They didn't fix it. Maybe they didn't have the gas. Oh, Maurice LaMarche. He was in this episode. I guessed he was in an episode a few back, but I never saw his name yet. But this one he's definitely in, and I don't know how many characters he played. Was he half a rascal?
Half a rascal. I don't know who played that character. Maybe.
But that voice work was amazing. How do you change from a little boy into an old man halfway through your sentence, and it's like phased perfectly?
There's a woman, I saw her on YouTube just like a week ago. She did like 20 voices or something in 2 minutes, and literally was singing a song, flipping through from one voice to the other. Blew me away.
Yeah, that's
She's
crazy.
She's a professional voice actress. So.
Wow. There's a couple of guys that do that too. They do like all the Disney voices as they sing. This was kind of cool in a very funny episode to have all these people like traumatized and crying and not knowing what to do. It kind of reminded me of maybe an episode of The Orville where they're all like trapped in the cargo bay because somebody had taken over the ship.
I'm trying to recall that episode.
It was pretty good. I think the Mocklin child helped save the day because he was tiny enough to crawl through like the air ducts.
That sounds familiar now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Actually, I like that whole episode, that part, because the crew was alive, first of all.
Yeah.
It's almost unusual there's no crew, or they're all still, the ship's fine.
Yeah, they're not hanging from the ceiling, like dripping blood or something.
So the captain pretty much is the evil guy in this ship, and he just made Boimler out to be the bad guy now.
It was Boimler. He told on you. It was him right here.
Yeah, and then leaves. There's somebody getting crushed by a container or something, probably.
Yeah. Gotta be, right?
Now, with this alien, my first thought when I saw it, when we finally finished, was I actually remember Encounter at Farpoint.
Absolutely. It was absolutely the alien from Encounter at Farpoint. There can't be that many jellyfishes in space, right? Or
yeah.
Not jellyfish, maybe...
That's what I thought, jellyfish.
Yeah, jellyfish. Right. Okay.
It's not quite, but it's probably the closest thing.
There was 2 things that were bioluminescent in this episode. The big jellyfish from Encounter at Farpoint. I don't know what the species name is. But the dog, when it barks, it's bioluminescent. So, and right...
I was thinking Boimler.
When Beckett Mariner punches the captain and picks up the kid, first of all, where'd the kid come from? There was no kid in the rest of the episode. But it's kind of like a trope, I guess, in these kind of things where the hero picks up the kid to save the day. And as soon as that happened, then I was like, oh, I get it. I'm very slow. I wasn't thinking ahead.
So now she's back to
badass,
powerful, badass,
Beckett.
yeah.
Yeah, badass Beckett.
This is where I like. We've seen her now in this character, I think, 3 times.
Oh, what's the third? I'm forgetting one of them. I know when with her mom.
The mom, and then I guess when she was trying to save Boimler from the possible alien girlfriend or something, she went badass trying to save him.
Oh yeah, a little bit, but yeah,
not
as much. Not as like I'm. Oh. I thought he was going to get sucked into space, but he was going to be okay because he's phased. And then I was like, now he's not phased. So I was actually scared for a second.
Why is there air?
Why is the air not being sucked out of my lungs? Do you think Sorry.
I was going to say, now the captain's all friendly.
Yeah. Do you think there's someplace like the farm in the Federation space?
Oh, space is infinite, so yeah, well, let's believe it. Well, we've met Angel 1, where everybody's friendly, and Ryza. So.
Yeah, that's true. Ryza. Gotta go to Ryza before we're done here.
That'd be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Mini Ryza or something.
Yeah, Mini Ryza on that one planet. So they might not do Ryza proper in season 1. I don't know.
I don't know. Do Lower Decks people get shore leave?
Somebody mentioned vacation. I think it was Beckett in one of the first episodes. What if that is Janeway's and Paris's kid?
Ooh,
that's possible, right?
They finally went back to the Delta Quadrant and saved them.
I'd like to hear Mike McMahon talk about that. But they got me with the farm too. I didn't think there would be a farm.
Yeah, that one I was expecting mutiny on the ship, and somehow he'd end up back on the ship, so I was surprised. I like this. She's just like, but dogs don't talk?
It was a very beautiful ending to the story for the dog. And it's so funny that she doesn't know what dogs do, but she edited every single DNA sequence or whatever.
Now they gotta send him home.
Yeah. So do you have acid reflux? I don't, but...
No, gladly.
I like the yellow hat on the Half-a-Rascal. I wish I knew his name.
I don't even know if they gave a name to him.
No.
They may have.
Just Half-a-Rascal. I can't do the voice. I'm getting sucked into watching again. So this captain...
so now
this captain's worse than our normal captain, right?
Yeah, she's definitely pushing. I liked that now she actually knew how to use the boots, and she knew what she's doing again. Like you mentioned that she was faking before. They're all going to be now. Here, I didn't understand was his new transporter is supposed to be like a couple milliseconds faster or something, but yet they can get everybody out with that, but he couldn't get everybody out just with a normal transporter.
Right. It was just for the joke, I think, because episode.
Oh, yeah.
But this was reminding me of Chekhov from the Kelvin universe when he was trying to beam aboard. Was it Kirk was falling without a parachute or something?
Okay.
And running down engineering and beaming him out from midair or something. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but did you know it was?
Now they're all screaming.
Yeah. What's the line? It's only what?
I didn't. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, it's only. Oh man, I wish I could see the subtitles. Did you know it was going to be the Encounter of Farpoint Alien until it was?
No, not a clue.
It was something.
I had no idea what was coming on that one. That's actually why I say like a lot of the time I can kind of know what's coming. That was not. Again, we didn't have the Encounter of Farpoint Alien taking over a ship like that, so it was a new take on it.
And Rutherford being surprised that he was okay again. So he totally doesn't understand what happened, because then he would have understood that he was going to be okay again.
She's grossed out with a dog licking her.
Yeah, I love dogs. They're so cute, but I can't stand anything licking me unless it's like somebody I'm in a romantic relationship with.
Fair enough.
And this
actually almost think the other captain's almost very much drawn to be the same as her too. They almost look like the same character.
A little bit. I did like this guest captain, this babysitter captain. I'm not sure of the actress's name, but I love her voice.
Here comes the commander.
Yeah. Now, she was interested in his photon torpedoes earlier, but now she doesn't want anything to do with them.
I think that's more because he came on to her. She liked the idea of the chase, not...
Yes. Sometimes the best way to get someone is to act like you don't like them, right?
We got next week's episode.
Next week's. It immediately reminded me of Star Trek 6.
See, and I actually... the only reason I thought of the Q episode with the courtroom, even though it was the Q.
You know what else I thought of? I thought of the Enterprise episode, I think, where Archer's on trial. I guess all Klingon courts look similar. It's probably all the same set that they store. Are you excited for next week?
I think so. It'll be another neat one.
Yeah.
Something I just actually noticed there that I don't think I've actually noticed before is the captain has a gray streak in her hair. I wonder if there's a backstory on why on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just, it's hard to do age probably for animated characters. She's got some like crow's feet or something and a gray stripe. I know the actress that plays her doesn't have gray hair, but.
Another good episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The things I liked about it probably most was all the different characters in the background going to the farm.
Okay. Yeah, that I get you.
Like I wanted to actually go through them with you a little bit, ones that you can remember anyway. Like what are ones that stick out in your mind that you liked?
So right off was the Warp 10 salamanders. I thought that was a good callback. We haven't, assuming that's what they're from, but
it has to be. It's like exactly the model of the rubber salamander. I wish they put that out in an action figure instead of, maybe the tiny ones, like one with the mutated Tom Paris, one with mutated Janeway or something.
And then who else was there? There's the two phased together, I thought was a neat one, or joined together. Something. Is that a transporter accident or? You
know what I thought? There's that episode of Next Gen where I'm sure there's more than one of these occurrences, but the woman that like was halfway in the deck plating because like the ship went out of phase or something.
Is that Pegasus? I think.
Was that from that episode?
That was a ship name, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of people in Pegasus. That's the name of the episode, but there's a lot of people in that episode that were halfway in stuff. So that's another thing too. Maybe, and I just see the picture in my brain, but I don't remember what episode that's from. But she's like, so yeah, it might have been Pegasus. Yeah.
Yeah, phasing could have fit with the Boimler story too. Mm-hmm. And then we had, of course, the throwback to the wheelchair, similar to.
Yeah. So apparently, if you get hit with that particular radiation, there's no cure. Delta rays or something. Yeah. Then there's no coming back from that. So you get in the chair with the one blink or the two.
I guess that's a sad sign for knowing Pike's long-term future, because this is 70 years later and they're still like that. So I'm guessing.
So there's there's no cure, I guess. And if there's a cure, well, there is a cure if you go to Talos 4, but then you can't go back to the Federation; they'll kill you. I don't get it. They probably changed that rule by now, right? Or by then now. That just a head floating around, had no idea what happened to that guy. We already talked about the guy that half his head exploded and it was like stuck like that.
Yeah, a picture here.
Yeah.
You have the half aged, half young.
Yeah, half a rascal, my favorite.
Now isn't there a character from original series? Why is my brain?
Oh, where they all got old?
Daniels or something like that.
Daniels?
That's Enterprise.
Daniels? Was he the time traveler?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Yeah, they're saying dying Daniels from Enterprise. I think he was aging, though. He wasn't half and half.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm thinking somebody from original series, though, but I can't remember an episode.
Well, I know in the original series they all get old, except for Chekhov because of the adrenaline. And in the Deadly Years, I want to say it was called.
That sounds right.
Yeah, where they actually had like toilet paper glued to their face to make them look old. It was really cool effect for back then. But Chekhov got scared, so that's why he didn't age, and that's why Bones was able to save the day at the end. Spoilers from 50 years ago, 60 years ago. How many years? A lot of years.
Yeah.
The two people together, so they share almost everything.
Yeah.
So I think it was funnier making you think about what is instead of just, saying it. So it's fun when they make you figure things out. All right.
There's a guy holding his head. I can't remember who that.
Yeah, and he had spikes. So even with a head, I think he was I hadn't seen that alien before that I could recognize.
One other alien that crossed I guess the captain's one of her people there. He was like bluey purple with face tattoo or something. He's wearing the yellow uniform.
Oh, one of the captain's crew that he brought over.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that alien before either that I can think of.
He looks familiar to me, but I couldn't place him.
My first thought was something like Nausicaan mixed with the Native American, but purple, so I didn't get it. But it's just cool with animation. They don't have to worry about asking Michael Westmore to come up with another alien. They can just draw something cool. Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't seen many. I guess that goes back to the Next Gen episode, but we haven't seen many non-biped.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
This is the first place where they could have actually started doing more crazy aliens.
One thing I was disappointed on, I don't know if it's disappointed, but I was like, while I was watching it, I was thinking, what would be really cool if they got Susie Plaxton and they had her play the Vulcan doctor from Next Gen, the first couple seasons, Dr. Solar that they keep mentioning.
Okay.
But you only saw her once, I think, as Dr. Solar, and then the rest of the time she was Worf's wife. What was Worf's wife's name? I'm blanking.
No, I was gonna say Kalis. That's wrong.
Kalis. Well, he might be married to Kalis now. How many times that guy get married? So many times. But Kalar?
Maybe.
Kalar. I'm going to go with that. If it's wrong, kind comments down below. But I thought that would have been cool.
I say Star Trek nerds that don't know Star Trek.
Yeah, well, it's impossible to know it all, right? I only know everything when somebody else is making a mistake.
That makes good sense. I'll start saying everything wrong so you can help.
So I wouldn't mind vacationing on the farm. That'd be nice. Maybe retiring to the farm. Yeah. They only
take freaks, so I think I'm welcome.
Acid reflux, right? Diabetes. Sure. I do need glasses to read.
Me too.
That's a thing. So that might deserve a massage. I don't know. And when we come back, we'll do our final ratings and a Trek and Tell. So stay tuned.
All right.
And we're back. Welcome back. My guest again is Brent from Canada.
Woohoo.
First name Vancouver. And only the country. So we're getting very informal now. So we're gonna give our rating for the episode, but first we're gonna do our Trek and Tells. Brent, do you have a Trek and Tell for this week?
Well, when we did the one episode, I mentioned, I guess 2 weeks ago there, I mentioned that went to Vegas one time, was at Star Trek Experience. So I actually dug out my green screen's not going to like that.
It's phasing. Nothing to see here. I'm not phasing.
There we go.
Wow.
So I got a book.
I have something like that.
And I actually have pictures. Let's see if any of this will show up.
Yes. I have the same exact thing somewhere.
So I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got pictures of it. I got my ticket still.
Wow.
I kept everything. I got my receipt. I even have a menu for Quark's Bar.
What did you eat while you were there? I had the hamburger. Did you?
Some sort of burger, but okay. I don't know. Yeah.
I had the hamburger with the holy onion rings of Beta Z.
That sounds probably what I had, to be honest.
How could I not? Yeah, a burger and onion rings. And the onion rings were like stacked on top of each other, and they're like that high. It was really awesome.
Nice tower, right?
Yeah, and you'd mentioned before you did the whole behind the scenes tour thing, right?
Yeah. So did you you've been there.
I did it. I went there with $500 expressly to spend at Star Trek The Experience.
Nice.
I don't gamble. I'm not a big drinker. I did gamble a little bit at the like video poker things at the hotel I stayed at, the Excalibur, but I had this thing where like I'd put $5 in, and if I at any time was over $5 and it was my like I was up, I guess they call it, I would quit. So if it was like $6 or $7, I would quit. So that way I didn't lose money the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah. So but I spent $500. I think the tour was like $399 or something. How much was it?
I honestly can't remember. I think my receipt there, I had the receipt for $79, but I think that was just for the experience.
The ticket
and then
itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to pay more. And then and whatever I had left after lunch and the ticket and the tour, I just spent in the gift shop. That's how I got a Tribble. I got a glass from the really tall glass. I got all kinds of stuff.
I know I bought a mug, and I'm quite sure it didn't make the trip home. Like it got broken in the flight.
Oh, that's sad. eBay, I guess.
One day, maybe.
Did you have your photo taken on the bridge?
I did. I have the bridge and in one of the Borg.
Me too.
I don't even know what you call them. Recharge sockets.
Borg node? Borg. I'll think of it as
7 to 9 probably had a name for it.
Yeah. Regeneration chamber. Is that it?
That sounds right.
Regeneration node, regeneration chamber. No.
Socket. I don't know, something.
Wheelbarrow. Yeah. No, that's different. That's something totally different. Yeah, I got all the pictures. I have. I don't know why I'm holding a physical picture.
Ooh.
Oh, there's you and me. There's so many screens. I still don't know how to do this. I was much heavier then, and that's why I'm in the original series shirt. Because, look at you. We sat in the same place. I wore the original series shirt because they said they had costumes to wear. Yes, that's awesome. Borg regeneration chamber. I'm going to go with that.
Sounds good.
How do I not know that? Everything I have is Borg, named Borg stuff. So I didn't bring my next gen outfit because they said ahead of time that they would have Starfleet uniforms for that. And they're like, we don't have anything in your size. And I was like, dude, the stereotype of Star Trek fans is either really, really skinny dude or a really, really fat dude. How do you not have them? He's like, you can try them on, but they're not going to fit. I was like, man, I'm fat. So after that, I lost a lot of weight because when I got back from Vegas, I was showing people all the pictures of me on the strip and stuff. And they're like, where's Vegas? It's like, shut up. I'm not that fat. You can see it behind me. But I had a great time. I did have a great time.
Good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. That was I was not even in a uniform. Wasn't even in the planning to go visit it.
Oh,
just happened to be there and found out it was literally closing down the following week. So.
Oh wow, yeah. I think I went a year before.
But I even had a bit of a feeling of being shut down. So,
really?
Yeah, like the store wasn't fully stocked anymore.
Stuff was on clearance.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that's why they didn't mention the uniforms because the uniform where you changed into the uniforms because I tried them on anyway, and I was. It didn't come past my belly, but I tried them on anyway, but it was the captain's ready room. So where the captain's ready room would be was the changing room. Oh, okay. And they just had racks of uniforms.
Yeah. See, I don't even remember them offering us that.
So did you go with someone?
Yeah, it was just my buddy, Daryl. We were both down there for the same thing. So.
Very cool.
He's also a Star Trek fan, so it works out.
Nice. I went with my buddy Frank, and he wasn't into Star Trek, but he's just into whatever. Let's do whatever. And he went to a lot of the shows in Vegas, but he did go to the behind the scenes tour with me because he was like, why not? And I remember just being on the bridge of 1701D and just feeling like I was actually there. It looks so good. It just felt like it.
When we did a tour, I only remember a few bits and pieces of it. They wouldn't let you take your own pictures, which is sad.
Yeah.
But like I remember, so the guy mentioned the piece of wood that's all the way around, like for the tactical console there. That's a single beam.
Wow, that's real wood.
Yeah, that's real wood apparently,
Wow.
and they only ever did two of them. One that's actually used on the Enterprise for filming, and the one used there.
Very cool. Yeah.
And it's quite costly and expensive to get that piece.
Yeah, and then at the end they just tore it all down, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was like garbage, even like gone.
Yeah, I think I saw some videos about that. Didn't originally they have two bridges, but then they tore one down to make the Borg experience, Borg 4D or whatever they called it?
May have. I don't know the history of it. I would assume, I think I saw pictures of the original Enterprise bridge somewhere at some point, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have that.
What did you think about being beamed for the first time?
That was my other experience I really enjoyed there. It felt like something happened, like, in a way. Like,
right? Because that whoosh of air, you're like, did I really transport just for that half second?
And so they said, and I don't know, did behind the scenes, they kind of explained that to us a bit. And so
the reason the whoosh is because when they raise the room so fast, it just airflow, right?
Yeah. But they were worried about it, but it actually gave it a more realistic, authentic feel.
Totally. You know what really got me? I was like I knew they were going to transport me, but I was like, okay, they're going to transport me to another transporter pad, because the floor, they can't change the floor. The floor changed. I was looking down and it changed. I don't know how they do it. I guess different lights or something.
They drop the floor a little bit, like not much. Like it's only like an inch or two, but they make it drop while doing the whoosh.
Yes.
So it gives you that extra feeling.
Mm-hmm. It was great. And then the behind the scenes tour where they do it with the lights on so you can see how they do it. That's really cool. And they
still amazes you.
Yeah. I'm like, this is so cool. I want one. Like, it's one of those things where, if I'm ever a millionaire, I think I'll get a transporter. And it's cool that they have like an ensign come in from another part and like operate the transporter thing. Because I don't think they have to. I don't think the actual control is on the transporter control. Might be. I don't know.
I know everybody. That's actually neat. Everybody in there, it's like going to Disneyland in a way. Everybody's in character.
Totally.
They were a Starfleet officer when you're walking through there.
And when you're in the Borg part of the ship and the Borg are chasing you.
Jeez. I remember the lady on my tour. She screamed actually.
I was getting into it because I was like, if there's no better time or place to play pretend Star Trek. So, and my buddy was just like, and walking away from him. I'm like, dude, they're Borg. They're zombie cyborgs. They're going to kill you. He's like, okay, I'll walk quicker.
Well, and that actually leads to, I wonder with all the new Star Trek push in the universe now, if we'll see a new version of the experience pop up again.
I would totally love it. That's the only reason I ever flew in a plane was to go to Star Trek The Experience. So I would go again. I would go again. So this turned into the Star Trek Experience podcast, I guess. But that was a cool Trek and Tell, dude. That was really cool. I have all that. They were broken apart in different frames and stuff, but I have my certificate. I got everything. You got to text me your certificate number. I wonder what they ever did with the book that we all signed. They probably just threw it away. I don't know. Sadly,
I hope it's in some vault somewhere, but
maybe.
I don't know for the Star Trek, but I know a lot of the pieces they got rid of them. They destroy a lot of the stuff because they don't want it to become a collector's item and sold for millions of dollars.
Yeah. Sad. The museum stuff was nice there too. It was like the actual like different things.
Piece. Yeah.
I think the Salt Vampire was my favorite, maybe.
Now, I know there's still something, I think, because I still do the Star Trek like conventions at the hotel. I don't know if they kept any of the parts of the experience there or if it's completely gone. Like, is Quark's Bar there? I don't know.
But I think it's totally rebranded-ish.
Yeah, I've never had a need to go back into that hotel again.
No,
so.
I mean, no Star Trek, no reason to go back. I think they have one of the world's most advanced bathrooms, but I think that's the only other thing. But I know they rescued a lot of the set from the garbage and restored it, I think.
Nice.
I want to say. But yeah, that was pretty good. My Trek and Tell wasn't the picture. It should have been, but what I had planned was this.
Ooh.
A Star Trek The Next Generation coloring book.
Coloring book.
Yes. Q.
Is that Q? Yeah.
That is Q. And which Picard is different?
Oh, I'll go with C.
Is it C?
I don't know. I can't see it from here.
No bloody A, B, C, or D. Somebody at home is going, it's number 4. It's number 4. It's probably like the Pips. What's different? I have no idea. Anyway, so I found that at a thrift store. And I was like, oh, that's so awesome, but I don't want to color it because then I'll ruin it. But then I was like, doo. So now I have 2. So I can color one when I feel like it. Not that I color. But
you can tell their age by the yellowing on the pages.
Oh, yeah, they are so old. What year? 97. So that's got to be like 10 years old, right?
It's one of the movies, isn't it? That's what the cover looked like, a movie cover.
Oh, man. Troy's in the purple. So that's got to be season, 5 or 6 at the latest? She's in her regular uniform after Chain of Command. Most of the time, I think. All right. Very cool Trek and Tell. Yours was better than mine. You win. It's not a competition. It's a collaborative effort, right?
Don't worry. I'm running out of items to talk about.
Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. I think I could do this for every episode of Star Trek. Not related to each episode, but that many things.
Nice.
Okay. And so a rating. Do you have a rating for this week's episode, season 1, episode 7 of Lower Decks, right. Much Ado About Boimler?
So I would probably give this one, let's probably say a 6. What were they? Rollout seeds? That's what they were trying to plant on the planet.
Seeds. Very good. I really got a lot of enjoyment out of this episode. So I'm going to probably give it an 8. And I'm going to give it 8 Cubicle the Dogs.
Cube Dogs.
Just because I would buy one if I saw one. I think I'd pay up to $300. I mean, I have a BB-8 that roams around the house, and I like Star Wars, but I'm not into it that much. But if they had a cube that just went ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk across the floor, totally buying that. So maybe they can.
I wonder if that was part of it. They did the cube, so they were anti-Star Wars with the.
Oh, maybe. Sphere. I don't know. I think if you actually made one, the same mechanics on how it would work would be the same.
You just need some sort of motor in the middle.
Motor with a weight, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't need a magnet head because it doesn't have a head. No. All right. So, favorite episode so far of the season of Lower Decks?
Trying to remember. Episode, what was last week's? I know I enjoyed that one.
What was last week's? I'm getting confused because I've been watching them all, like again and again and again.
So Terminal Provocations. And Cupid's Errant Arrow. I actually really liked the Errant Arrow one. That was a good one.
That was good with Boimler's girlfriend. Yeah, that was good. Was that last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So what was last week? Temporal Provocations? No, that was 3 weeks ago.
What's episode number is that? That's episode. Wow. Don't have my glasses on. Last week. So last week's was the Lovable, but the Ensign Fletcher episode.
Oh, okay. That's right.
The holodeck training.
Yeah, that was crazy. That Badgie was 1 week ago? That's crazy. Yeah, all right. Well, that was a great episode too. Oh, you know what? I want to amend my rating for that episode. I want to say it's a 9. Because as I watched it more, because when we talked about it, me and Matt, I had just watched it 3 times because it was one of those things, the time zones. So I had to like watch it, then talk to him about it. So then after we talked about it, I watched it probably 8 more times before I passed out asleep. The sun was up, so I don't know. But as I watched it more and more, I got more and more of it, and I really enjoyed it more.
Maybe I have to rewatch that one because I watched it twice. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I liked it, but I didn't really enjoy it. So yeah, I think the girlfriend episode was one of my more favorite ones so far.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that one. I like them all. I think I'm going to view them as a whole, but I'm glad that they're episodic, so we have episode names that we can remember that go with the episode.
Now, do we know if there's a season 2 yet?
My understanding is they got greenlit for 2 seasons right away.
Okay.
But 2 seasons is like 1 season used to be, but broken in half. So, but still, I'll take it. I'll take anything. So I'm glad. Now we're supposed to see Q, right? This season. Is it
next episode?
Next episode. Okay. I'm excited for that. Hopefully it's more than what they said with just like a blink and miss it part. Because why would they get John Delancey in for just like 1 line or something?
Yeah. So I'm really hoping that's good. That's a good one. And I think when they did the panel, I want to say the actress that does Mariner said that was her favorite episode.
Tawny Newsome. She's actually on the official Star Trek podcast now. I listened to their first episode. It had Ben Stiller on it. It was really interesting. I would check that out if you had time.
Okay, I'll probably add that to my list.
He talks about his love of the original series Star Trek and all the things he bought that were original Star Trek props. And he like lists them, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. But if I had that kind of money, I would definitely have that stuff. Yeah. So it's a good episode. I haven't listened to the second episode yet, but she's a really good podcast host.
Good to know. I'll have to give it a try.
So what's
I think they announced that she was taking over that or running that when.
They used to have one, canceled it. It was okay. I listened to it, but the guy was kind of negative a lot. So, but this one they're more positive. I like positivity. I don't like negativity really.
I think we're running, like we mentioned earlier. I think we're running into where they're going to be running Star Trek by the end of next year. I think they'll have Star Trek always on the TV. That's
my wish.
So they're building. I know their comics have been growing. They got the book series. I think have been revamped again, and then we got all the series. There's rumors of movies being at least looked at again. Yeah,
I'm seeing them, and I click on them, and they're like, yeah, it says exactly what the clickbait title said. So
there's definitely rumors of the movie, but no seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good because Star Trek, it was a good brand, is a good brand.
Yeah,
and it's felt like it in the late '90s era just kind of got dropped or forgotten about.
Yeah, people got burnout, I guess.
Yeah,
I didn't. I wanted another 4 or 5 seasons of Enterprise.
I think storytelling's changed in the last 5-10 years. Like Game of Thrones, like it or hate it, definitely was a new style of storytelling. You got Westworld, same idea. And then you got some of the newer shows, Dark Matter, Killjoys.
Yeah, I love both Dark Matter and Killjoys.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Expanse.
Dark Matter is probably my favorite of the newish ones.
I was sad to see that one end.
Dude, right? I was so sad. And then the creator is like auctioning off or giving away pieces of the set for people that commented on a social media thing or something. I didn't win any, but I was so sad because I was like, this is the closest thing we had to Firefly.
Yeah. So, I would actually agree. It was actually, I thought, really thought out and well done.
Yeah, and all the actors were great. Man, I got to rewatch that. Maybe for Patreon.
So yeah, the big one I'm seeing with Star Trek, they're really trying to regrow it, and they're taking advantage of new storytelling methods, and they're doing different styles of story. Where, as much as DS9 is different than Next Gen, still all three like the Next Gen, Voyager, and DS9, they're very similar shows. So it's just different cast. It's
crazy that all the new storytelling is very what's the word for it? Not episodic, but the other thing.
Serial,
yeah, like Deep Space Nine was, and people hated it because of that. But now they took the Deep Space Nine model, and now all the new shows are like that, serialized.
Yeah, except for this one. This one's
not. So I'm enjoying it because it's different now.
Yeah, it's back to the old style. But that's Orville. Like he shopped around Orville, and nobody wanted to pick it up.
Oh, dude, Star Trek messed up bad. That would have been a great Star Trek series, and to me, it is. To me, it's Star Trek. Yeah. Sure, CBS Paramount doesn't own it, but it's Star Trek. Yeah. But
hopefully,
I love it.
Hopefully, it lives well in Hulu.
People were upset. I'm like, I watched it on Hulu anyway. Who wants to watch commercials? I just wait for the 3 a.m. after I'm done work. I'll go watch it.
Well, this came
on 6 a.m.
They're proving it with Star Trek. It's not on TV. It's not on. I guess it's on some cables channels and whatnot, but not in US and I don't even believe up here.
So many people are angry about going to Hulu when it went, and I'm like, why? It makes sense. And people are like, we don't want to pay the $8.99 a month or something. I'm like, you'd rather pay with slices of your life? Those commercial breaks are 2 minutes a piece, and there's 5 of them? That's 10 minutes of your life you're giving away.
It's almost 20 minutes an hour now.
So 20 minutes an hour, 4 episodes a month. That's 80 minutes? Did I do my math right?
And it's the same commercials over and over again. So you're just getting brainwashed to buy Cheerios.
So every month you're giving somebody 80 minutes of your life to not pay $9. That makes no sense. Pay the $9. Get your life back.
What's your time worth?
Exactly. And I don't want to know the latest vacuum or blender. What are they selling now? I don't know. Probably antibiotics. I have no idea.
So I got a comment before we end here.
Okay.
I see chew on your shirt.
Ooh. Yeah. I went to the choo-choo party.
Ooh.
Pretty
Do they
cool.
chew?
No, I would never chew. I saw people chew. And I wouldn't want to, but I don't think I could. It's just, I was just like, no. When that happened, I kind of, went back to my quarters.
Makes sense. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Maybe if I have a little drink. I'm not a drinker, but it does happen. Somebody could slip some whiskey in my water. What are we looking forward to next episode on Lower Decks? Do you have a title?
Next episode was
And a description?
Veritas.
I'm
gonna bring it on.
Is that Latin? That sounds Latin. I'm gonna go with Latin.
Like it, isn't it? That one. All right, so the description: Mariner, Boimler, our main people, are caught off guard when the aliens force them to testify about a series of seemingly unrelated events.
I wonder if it's one of those episodes like the one where they accused Riker of killing the woman, where it's all in flashback until the end and you figure out what really happened. Or what was that? I don't even remember the title of that one. Or the one where Tom Paris has to relive the murder over and over again. You don't find out what happened till the end.
Okay, I'm thinking. I guess
there's probably like 3 more episodes just like that.
I'm thinking
right?
An O'Brien episode, something along those lines too.
Ooh, like which O'Brien episode? I'm trying to think.
I actually feel bad for that guy. If you actually watch DS9, he's in prison in his head for 10 years, and then like 3 episodes later, he's caught by the Cardassians and he's in like their prison.
Yeah, people think he does. Picard has a bad life, but O'Brien had a worse life. But maybe that's why they said he was the best Starfleet officer of all time on Lower Decks. What is it? Whispers? I think that's one of my favorite DS9 episodes. Not my favorite, but when I saw it, I was like, whoa. Where Miles, everybody's talking about him, and like there's a conspiracy, and he's trying to figure out the conspiracy. And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. I'm going to say go watch it, but you don't find out what's going on until like pretty much the end, and it blew my mind at the time because I'd never seen anything like it.
And I think that's in the same set. Like there's 3 or 4 episodes where it's like O'Brien heavy episodes, and I think they're all in 1 or 2 seasons of each other.
Oh, what was the one with the coffee? And Keiko said he's drinking tea and not coffee or something like that. That was a great one too.
So Veritas is the goddess of truth from Roman mythology.
Ooh, the goddess of truth. Very apt title because they have to tell the truth, right?
I actually want to say it's used in like some of the legal stuff. I actually want to say that term is mixed in there somehow.
I've heard it before in titles of something.
Yeah.
But it rings a bell, but I have no idea what from. But I'm looking forward to that one. And if that's the one with Q in it, that'll be cool. It's supposed to be, right? I thought it was 7, but I guess it's 8.
I thought it was 8 myself, so that'll be next week.
Okay, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully they go to a Klingon penal planet and meet people that don't keep their genitals in the same place.
I wonder if we're going to meet Borg in the series.
Oh, that's something we didn't talk about from this episode. They smell like old trash bags. That's what.
I missed that line then.
Yeah, you must have. But the visiting captain, when she's telling the story of how they escaped from the Borg with the Vulcan jujitsu, she was like, nobody talks about it, but Borg smell like old trash bags. And I was like, that makes total sense. And I just laughed my ass off. So.
I would actually, just probably a conversation I don't want to think about too much, but
no, I don't know if it's
the smells of space, probably not pleasant.
Not pleasant. I think one of the astronauts said space smells like cooked steak or something like that. But yeah, when she said old trash bags, I was thinking, okay, old trash bags like in a box that have like that Febreze stuff on it. That's kind of weird. Or is it like old trash bags with trash in it? Is probably more like it because of the rotting flesh on the Borg. And
probably they don't wash as far as we've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Wow.
Tendi made a reference to the bathroom in this episode. I think it's actually the first time.
Oh, do you got to go for a walk or something? What'd you say?
No, it's with right at the beginning. It's sometimes when I go in the bathroom is actually when I've I spliced DNA or something.
Oh yeah, all those times I said I was going to the bathroom, I was doing. Now I think on the math on that, you're more of a math guy and coding and stuff. When you're doing the DNA, nobody could do it in their litime, I don't think, right? The amount
it has to be computer program.
Yeah, because you can't sequence DNA without like mega computers and like years or something, right?
I don't even know the details. I know it's complex.
Yeah, but more than just she couldn't do it in her lifetime unless Orion women age very well.
Yeah,
which is possible.
She's supposed to be young.
She seems young. They all seem about early 20s.
Yeah, except for Mariner's story makes you think she must be about 10 years older than the rest.
Some kind of temporal something or other. Maybe.
We'll find out, hopefully.
But no, it couldn't be because she went to school with the captain. But it could be.
Well, she's a captain, so you'd assume that she, unless we're in the Kelvin timeline where Kirk became a captain very quickly.
Maybe that's why they did that. That's opposite of Kelvin timeline Kirk. Because instead of being immediately promoted to captain, she is still an ensign. But she said in this episode, which is something that I really was intrigued on. Sorry to keep going back to it, but I guess that's what we're talking about. She said, I still have some things. What if I want to be an ensign, a kick-ass ensign? What if I got some things to work out? I think she said something like that. So
yeah, I really feel like we're going to, you don't ever want to give this in proper storytelling. You don't want to give away all the character stuff in the first right of the way, right?
Because then what's to look forward to? Then you got to make up new stuff.
Yeah, so I have a feeling they're hoping the show runs 3, 4, 5 seasons, and we're gonna slowly get piecemeal her.
Yeah, hints or something like that.
I really feel like probably by the season 5 or something, we'll end up seeing our characters finally get promoted or something. Finally.
I think in the original press and interviews they said that it's episodic, but there are continuing storylines for the characters, and there's one major overarching storyline. So that might be Beckett Meredith's
She's the only one that's
backstory.
really we've seen. We got the Rutherford and Tindy kind of showing some dating type thing, but
yeah, there hasn't been much of that lately.
There was no mention at all in this episode.
No, I kind of miss that because I like their chemistry. I love Rutherford.
Badgie episode was the best.
Badgie, yeah, that was great. I guess that's why they gave it a break because they did a lot in the Badgie episode, which was called.
Yes,
that one.
Choo Choo.
Choo Choo. Hey, I bought the shirt and I don't know the episode's name. What? Okay. So, but I like Rutherford. I think out of all the guys on the show, I think his personality is probably the kindest and nicest, and I like that. So, one of my faves, but they're all my faves. I like everything. You know that about me.
It's good.
All right. So,
good attitude.
Any more thoughts on this episode? Much Ado About Boimler?
We probably could come up with some, but I think we're good for tonight.
I think we're good. It's pretty late in this time zone, and you're a little bit behind me.
Yep, but it's 10:30 my time.
Wow, so it must be later than that here.
Yeah, I won't tell you.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, Brett. I really appreciate you coming on the show and traveling all the way here via Zoom to Trekaholic, and I really enjoyed talking to you about this, and I learned some things that I didn't know, and I'm going to watch the episode again. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, just sat in the holodeck, so it's all good.
I'd be doing something different than talking to me in the holodeck, just saying. I have a list about 20 things long. Mine was before. I just left the holodeck. And seeing your Trek and Tell was amazing. So until next time, I'm Albie.
I'm Brent.
Maintain course.
Thank you for listening to Trekaholic, another Star Trek podcast. Please support the show by going to patreon.com/Trekaholic. Send written or audio feedback to trecaholicpod@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 305-707-TREK. That's 305-707-8735. And don't worry, no one will pick up. It's only for voicemail. Visit our website at trekaholic.com for more information. Trekaholic, another Star Trek podcast, is not affiliated in any way with CBS or Paramount. I'm your announcer, Zoe Dean. Trekaholic, another Star Trek podcast, is a Barren Space production.
And we're back! Welcome, Brad. Doing that again.